Hey guys, welcome back to another week of my comic hauls where we go through a little review, non spoiler type, and I go through all the covers and every book I picked up, and we just throw in a little something about each book. So, right after this, let's get started. Alright, welcome back. So, let's start off with Marvel. This one, strictly a cover by. This is Star Wars Darth Vader number 6. This is the second printing with Ochia Bestoon right on the cover. That's why I got it. It's just his first cover appearance. So if you're a Star Wars fan, Darth Vader is a really good series to be reading right now. And you like first appearance cover appearances, pretty good one to get. All right, moving on. We've got Juggernaut number 3. Really good series. It's just nice to see the Juggernaut as a common guy, just trying to get his life in order. Also, we're starting to get the backstory of how he got his armor back, his Sidorak armor, which was destroyed by magic. So, overall, it's a really good series. It really humanizes the Juggernaut, makes him the everyman, and I like it. I enjoy it. I like what Fabian Nicieza is doing with this series. Next up is Hulk, Immortal Hulk number 40. Al Ewing still killing it. Bennett doing the great art. We have Joe Fixit taking over the mindscape of the Hulk, kind of trying to get things straightened out, getting things going in the right path for the Hulk here, who's kind of letting the leader just run roughshod all over his mindscape and messing up all the Gamma guys' good days. So, another excellent entry into the Immortal Hulk series. Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 53. If you didn't read 52, the draw dropping issue, this is a continuation of that. This is Last Remains. It's just getting grittier and grittier, and this is kind of, going into what happened in the last issue. So we'll see. It's getting really emotional for Spider-Man in these books, but I think the action is really picked up in the Spider-Man series. So if you've been off of it because you haven't liked where it's going, 52 is probably a good point, or jumping on at the beginning of the Last Remains arc might be a good place to start, and then continuing from there. But yeah, Amazing Spider-Man's gotten good, and it could be on its way to great, or who knows. But it's definitely worth a read, I think, these days. If you want to wait for the trade on that one. All right. Staying in the Spider-Man universe, we've got Symbiote Spider-Man number 1, Peter David, Greg Land. It is the start of the King in Black run. Besides for there being a new character in here, Mr. E, I can't say there's anything too spectacular about this book. Artwork is pretty good. I don't know, I think you might be able to skip this one if you want, unless you want that new character appearance. It is kind of the start of the King in Black, so if you're going for all the issues, you can grab it for that. I wasn't too impressed with the writing, and the art, like I said, was pretty good. But in that same vein, we have Venom number 30. This is part 5 of Venom Beyond, where he ends up in another dimension. It's a good issue. It was a good wrap-up for the storyline with Codex, and it leads into the King in Black. So the next issue of Venom will totally be about the King in Black. But this is, I wouldn't say a tie-in, it's just the issue before that event starts. And you can see some seeds laid for that. So it's a good wrap-up issue. Don't go in there expecting guns blazing. It's a good way to tie up that arc. Alright, switching gears, we got Ten of Swords. This is X-Force number 14. Really good issue. Benjamin Percy and Jerry Dugan, I think they're just crushing it as a writing team. This is Benjamin Percy as the lead writer in this book. Really good. So people have been saying like the tone of the series has changed and it's not as dire or as serious, and it's become comedic. And this book kind of had me believing that. And then there was a shift. And I was like, oh, it just got real. So this book kind of pulled me back into the seriousness of what's going on with Ten of Swords. Also in this issue, if you didn't believe Storm was a badass, or if you needed reaffirmation that Storm was pretty badass, this book delivers that. At the end, you were like, I do not want to mess with Storm. Overall, this was probably my favorite comic for Ten of Swords this week. So it started off the 3 issues for this week pretty strongly. And be aware that next week is the last parts of Ten of Swords. So we'll be getting issues 22, 21, and 20. Or 20, 21, and 22, if you don't want me saying it backwards, of Ten of Swords. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm pretty sure there'll be like little spin-offs and things that'll wrap up the series after that. But those are the final 3 issues of the main storyline coming out next week. So continuing on, we have Hellions, part 18 of 22 of ExofSwords. This one doesn't really deal with the sword fighting. And by the way, in case you didn't know, this series went off the rails in terms of the sword fighting. It is a game of chance and skill and more than just the swords. So if you were expecting just constant battle after battle after battle, that is not what is happening in Ten of Swords. So be aware, take it with a grain of salt. You're just not going to get matchup after matchup, fight after fight. There's going to be some other things going on in this storyline, in this arc. So with that said, we have Hellions, and the Hellions were on a mission to go steal the swords of Araco, so to kind of sabotage the games. Well, what happens is Mr. Sinister lives up to his name. It's kind of a trap and leads his team to go collect some mutant DNA instead of actually stealing these swords. Things go sideways. Most of the team dies. As you know, if you died in the other world, you basically can't get resurrected, but the team for the most part manages to make it back to the island of Caraco, and they should be able to get resurrected. But anyway, Mr. Sinister, once again, living up to his name and not coming through with the plan that was initiated. And so we move on to ExofSwords, number 19 of 22. This is also Cable, number 6. And last time they did a Ten of Swords, pretty sure I said ExofSwords back there. Last time they did a Ten of Swords, they put Cable in really small lettering underneath. This time they actually gave him a bigger title. But this does kind of center around Cable at the beginning, but then gets into the bigger overall arc of the storyline, including all the other fighters, sword fighters. Not to spoil too much about this book, but there is a death in here. No, it isn't Cable. As far as I know, this series has not been canceled, so they won't kill Cable off, at least not in this issue. And so there is a death in this book. Sorry, as I forgot, there is some first appearances, by the way, in this book. So this is again Hellions number 6, or Hellions number 6, and there are some first appearances in here. But let's get back to this book. All right, so just some good sword fighting in here. The last splash page pretty much lets you know there's a big fight coming on, and all throughout this series of events, you know, the Caraco or Carakians or whatever, the mutants from Caraco have been I've been saying Krakoa. The mutants of Krakoa have basically been getting their butts handed to them. And so there's a really cool fight in here. They kind of even the score, actually take the lead. And so by the end of this book, you'll see who's winning, who's losing. But if you were really upset that the mutants from Krakoa were getting their butts waxed, that is the book that will put some stuff at ease for you. Alright, moving on to DC, we got Batman number 103. We've got Ghostmaker versus the Batman. You've got Clown Hunter versus Harley Quinn. Really fun issue We're starting to get some background between the Ghostmaker and Batman. I don't want to give away too much, but Ghostmaker is making some trouble. He is, or considers himself, a crime fighter, much in the way of Batman. Not your traditional villain. So he's actually trying to help Gotham, not hurt it, but overall, he's making trouble for Batman. And so he comes across as the anti-hero, so to speak. Good issue. Definitely worth a read. If you're on Batman, stay on Batman. Keep reading. It's good. Alright. Continuing on with DC, we've got Dark Knight's Death Metal. This is Justice League. This is number 57. Basically, the Justice League has freed the Legion of Doom from their imprisonment in this issue. And so the Legion of Doom has a lot of, with the help of Lex Luthor, Justice League has helped to free them with the help of Lex Luthor. The Legion of Doom has a hard time with that because Lex Luthor is pretty much the reason they got trapped. So this is a big issue. We got Lex Luthor working with the Legion of Doom and the Justice League. They're kind of coming together, which ties us into Dark Knight's Death Metal. This is issue number 5, where Lex Luthor is on the cover, and he is now helping. And you got Lobo, in case you didn't read that Death Metal Extreme issue. And he's helping everybody now, Lex Luthor, to come up with a plan to save the universe and multiple universes and planets from the Darkest Night and Perpetua. We're going to go to the indies now, and we've got Stillwater number 3. This is from Image and part of that Skybound imprint. Chip Zdarsky is writing a really cool horror book. Ramon Perez is really doing a great job on the artwork. This is a pretty cool cover. And yeah, if you're looking for a good horror book, this is really a good one. It's very well written. The art is done very nicely. It's really well paced, and so it's a really good book. And it's only on issue 3, so you can still get 1 and 2. Moving on, we got Die number 15 by Stephanie Hans doing the artwork, and Kieran Gillen. There was a Bill Sienkiewicz cover this week. I didn't manage to grab it, but you know, if I see it, I'll grab it because I thought it was really cool. Anyway, it looks like the story is going to enter another arc after this issue. A lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff that's going to change the dynamics of this book. And it looks like our characters are finally starting to learn how to play the game of Die. So I look forward to issue 16. Wasn't quite sure where this was going. I thought somebody might die in this book. There was a death. No major characters though. So it looks like it's headed towards what could be the conclusion, or it could just be another arc of the story. But the characters, like I said, have finally learned how to play the game. Are they going to play it well? Who knows? But they're learning. Alright, next up we have Sea of Sorrows. I think in my preview video I said this looks like a horror book that's going to happen in space. With a title like Sea of Sorrows, I don't know how I messed that up. It's a horror book that's going to happen on the seas. Duh. Alright, so it's just to give you a brief insight into it, it's about some, we'll call them fortune hunters at sea trying to find a downed German Nazi sub which has pure gold bricks on it. And so from there, you know, they got to go deep into the ocean, into the seas, and that's where this kind of horror story begins. So this was a good bricklaying issue. Wasn't that scary, but it's kind of given us insight into where it's going. So it's a good first issue for that reason. Nothing, like I said, too exciting, but well written. The art is really dark, which kind of lends to the mood, and so good first issue. So next up we have Once in Future number 13. This is the Franny cover. This is cover B. I just thought this was a really dope cover. That's why I got this. I'm not caught up on the series, but I will be. I'm about 3 or 4 issues behind, so I'll get there one day. And then we'll be able to talk more about Once in Future. But it's a really good, really well-written story. Art is excellent, and it really leads you into that world of mythology. So it's really cool. All right. Next up, we have issue number 12 of Something is Killing the Children. This continues to astound me. Just really well written. And the Order of St. George's has reached a town, and things are going to go sideways. So it's just, like I said, excellently written. Artwork is amazing. It is just a really all-around good book. There was a Peach Momoko cover this week, cover B. So if you can grab that, if you're a Peach fan, go ahead and grab that. I'm going back just one issue to Once in Future with Franny. She's supposed to be an up-and-coming artist, so keep a lookout for her. All right. And then there was one. We're going to go with our book of the week. And that's going to go, or read of the week, that's going to go to X-Force number 14. Just a really well-balanced issue that pulled me back into Ten of Swords and kind of assuaged or massaged my fears about the series. I believe in Ten of Swords thanks to this issue, X-Force number 14. So that was really good. And indie book worth checking out, Sea of Sorrows. I don't think you'll be sorry if you check it out. Definitely worth a look. And then this week I managed to grab some minor keys while I was out. They were 20% off cover. So I got Captain Marvel number 23, the first appearance of Ove, and I believe Brigitte. Last I saw on eBay it was going for maybe $10. So I think I got it for, it's got a $3.99 price tag, so I got it for $3.30 or something like that. And I got Outlaw number 1, another kind of minor spec book, key book, and same price. Actually, it was $4.99, so I think I paid $4 for this book, or $3.99, or something like that. And this book is also going for anywhere from $10 to $15 I saw online. Doesn't mean they're still maintaining that value or will maintain that value by the time this video comes out, but they're minor keys for less than cover. So that was part of my haul this week as well. So thank you for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the books I showed, or hopefully it informed you to go out and maybe get some of those books if you were on the fence, or not get some of those books. And share with me in the comments what you got that I might have missed that may be worth a pickup. And so do what you do. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to put these books in my PC and get ready for next week. Peace.